recap on the eclipse extravaganza.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful.
This is fantastic.
Coverage from our Washington, D.C. bureau. Scare in the air.
He was calm, kept everybody else calm, and we landed safely.
After a Southwest has to make an emergency landing only minutes after takeoff. And the tracker for your pets.
I just think it's really fun to get to hang out with my best friends and do good things for our community.
The future of finding lost furry family members. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Laura Palfrey. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
A story of survival after a near-death experience in the water. This morning, first responders are keeping an extra eye out on the ocean as camera footage was released of an unconscious man rescued from New Smyrna Beach.
As Pamela Comey from WESH reports, the man's age and a quick response from lifeguards saved his life.
A visit to New Smyrna Beach almost ended one 21-year-old's life.
The first thing he said is he's never going to the beach again.
Deputy Stan Manhart was one of the first responders on the scene the day Felipe Ribeiro de Souza got caught in a riptide. Several people were rescued March 30th. Ribeiro de Souza was the only one who was unresponsive. Two boogie boarders pulled him out of the water. They put him on their board until lifeguard Dalton Smith reached them.
We just let them know that they needed to hold his head up above water, and we just swam them all in together.
Before they even reached the shore, Manhart began CPR.
Starting compressions.
And while still on the board, deputies were trying to save the man's life.
With the patient being slippery, the board being wet, they were able to maintain the patient on the board and doing very effective CPR.
Eventually, Ribeiro de Souza was handed off to the New Smyrna Fire Department, and they still had the tough job of getting his pulse back.
With saltwater drownings, what happens is when the salt water enters the lungs, you have a major fluid shift in the body, so that it creates pulmonary edema. So this patient needed advanced life-saving airway procedures.
Ty Tarno with New Smyrna Fire says the victim didn't have a pulse for 6 to 7 minutes.
It was just a miracle that this young man was able to pull through.
All three departments worked together seamlessly.
You're only as strong as your weakest link, and there was no weak links.
That was Pamela Comey from WESH reporting. According to officials, the man was swimming far from a lifeguard tower when he almost drowned. He has since made a full recovery.
It wasn't quite totality, but our D.C. bureau came closer to the full eclipse than we did here in South Florida. Reporter Pamela Correa has more on the experience from Washington.
People on rooftops, people on the street, and this is because here in Washington, D.C., we are experiencing an 87% of the total eclipse. Now let's put our safety glasses on and enjoy the show.
Oh, wow.
That is beautiful.
Were the reactions
This is fantastic.
of most of the people who stopped to look at the solar eclipse. Offices around Washington, D.C. organized watch parties to appreciate the breathtaking astronomical occurrence. This beautiful and rare event allows the sun's corona to be visible only to those lucky enough to be in the path of totality. The sun's corona is the outermost part of the sun's atmosphere, which is usually hidden by the bright light of the sun's surface, and it could be difficult to see without using special instruments. However, it can be viewed during a total solar eclipse. Scientists taking advantage of the 3 to 4 precious minutes, which will not happen for another 20 years, to discover more about our planet and what lies beyond.
Better understanding what's happening at the corona at the start of the action helps us to not only model and predict what could happen in the future, but better protect our spacecraft from space weather events and life on Earth, like our power grids and our communication system.
Now, if you didn't catch this one, don't worry. You can catch the next one in 2044. Reporting for Capling News from Washington, D.C., Pamela Correa.
A Southwest Airlines pilot declares an emergency. It was Sunday, only minutes into their flight. Shortly after takeoff, passengers saw a part of the plane break away. CNN's Laura Aguirre tells us more on how the terrifying incident unfolded.
Not what you want to hear when you've just taken off in an airplane, and not what you want to see the cover flying off the engine. This was on a Southwest Airlines jet shortly after takeoff from Denver Sunday.
It's only by the grace of God that he got the message. He was calm, kept everybody else calm, and we landed safely.
High praise for the pilot who circled back to Denver safely for an emergency landing. Southwest apologized to passengers for the delay in a statement, adding that safety is their highest priority and their maintenance teams are reviewing the aircraft. The FAA is also investigating how the engine's cover, called a cowling, came loose and hit the wing flap.
There are 3 cowling latches that hold that cowling in place. So it appears that either one of those was not left latched properly or the mechanical piece itself failed.
Aviation safety analyst David Susi says a part like that should undergo at least 3 visual checks pre-flight, the first 2 conducted by ground crew maintenance.
But the last line of defense is the pre-flight inspection. The pilot is supposed to do the walk around before each flight and check those latches.
The investigation into the exact cause continues. The passengers aboard the Denver flight were all eventually rerouted to their destination of Houston, with quite a story to tell.
It was a little spicy, but we're all okay.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
A controversial DUI case in Florida ends in a guilty verdict. 56-year-old Calvin Riley was arrested in Tallahassee last May for drunk driving. Defense lawyers argued that an officer drained a sealed bottle of vodka in Riley's car before leaving it empty in the vehicle. After a 2-hour deliberation, a judge sentenced Riley to 10 days in jail, 6 months probation, and 50 hours of community service.
The Coast Guard Academy is drowning in controversy this morning after using non-disclosure agreements to silence sexual assault victims. This comes after Texas Senator Ted Cruz spoke about the inquiry in a letter addressed to Commandant Admiral Linda Fagan. Cruz says the NDAs were part of a years-long effort to hide information about sexual assault at the Academy. The Coast Guard released a statement saying the agreements were used to protect the privacy of the victims and witnesses.
Using the money raised from sweet treats, some Girl Scouts here in Nashville came together to help lost dogs reconnect with their owners. As Caplin's Elizabeth Garcia reports, they did so in a unique way through pet microchip scanners.
We all know Girl Scouts love cookies.
Samoas.
Samoas, definitely. I love Thin Mints. But it's what these girls did with their cookie sales savings. That really rings true to their mission.
So we decided that we wanted to help animals.
Our whole troop is our animal lovers, so that like sealed the deal for us.
She's so cute. So how are they helping animals? Well, it all started with an idea 2 years ago about how to reconnect lost pets to their owners.
It's devastating for us to see the lost pet signs around our community, and I just couldn't imagine if that happened to me.
It was sad. Their empathy and love for animals turning into this. With approval from county commissioners, the girls purchased and installed microchip scanners in their local library earlier this year. So anyone who finds a lost dog can scan for a microchip and bring them back home.
Say that Star is a lost animal. You found her on the side of the road. So you open this up and there's a scanner. So you're gonna press it and you're gonna go over to Star. There's a microchip number.
With that number, you can call the vet or animal shelter or look up the microchip ID in the registry yourself to find the owner.
Selling cookies is, of course, really fun, but it feels great knowing that we helped a lot of lost.
After all, that's the goal.
I just think it's really fun to get to hang out with like my best friends and do good things for our community.
All thanks to the hard work they did to get here.
This wouldn't have been possible if people didn't like cookies.
From Caplin News, I'm Elizabeth Garcia.
UConn tries to go back-to-back in men's college basketball.
Pictures from the championship game are ahead, and so is the story.
Early season. Oh, what a play by Volpe. Gets to his feet. Got him.
The Marlins look lost in New York as they play in a game delayed by the solar eclipse. Stick around, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panther in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Marlins were eclipsed by the Yankees in NYC after playing a game that was pushed back by the show in the sky. This morning, the Miami Marlins are reeling in from a tough loss against the New York Yankees. The game was supposed to start around 2 p.m. but was pushed back 4 hours because of the eclipse. The Yankees jumped out to a 6-run lead in the 4th and cruised the rest of the way. The Marlins dropped this one 7-0. The same two teams play tonight at 7. Today, the University of Connecticut is feeling deja vu after winning back-to-back national championships. It was not looking good for the UConn Huskies as they were trailing in the first half. However, after changing the game plan by focusing on the whole team, except Zach Idei, that seemed to work because after halftime, UConn took the lead and ran, ultimately beating Purdue for the championship. The final score was Purdue 60, Connecticut 75. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Laura Palfrey.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.